Yeah, that's it. That's good.
Okay, it took a minute to get started this time, girls. Okay,
But we here.
But we is here. Do you hear me? Now look, let me go ahead and give my little disclaimer, y'all. The bitch is tired. I'm wore the fuck out. I'm not as abreast as I typically would like to be on everything that's going on down here in the world. We ended up having to put my mom in the hospital yesterday.
Oh my God.
Because, yes, girl, because her ass don't listen. No, don't feel bad for her. She don't listen. See, I'm finna get on to these black women. Look, y'all are superheroes. We already done talked about it. Y'all strong as hell. We understand this. But every now and then, you know, Storm will sit there and she'll take a little bit too long to get that lightning bolt together. And the enemy will swing her ass around like a rag doll. So every now and then, you got to sit down. You got to rest. You got to get yourself together.
Right.
And my mama, she just don't know how to sit the hell down. So, like, I really want to almost blame her doctor because her doctor told her, oh, yeah, you can go back to work in a week. Baby, just because he said you can don't mean you should. You know what I'm saying? Those are two different things. And so we talked this week and I told you that last Friday she ended up ripping open her stitches under her arm where they took the lymph node out or however you pronounce it to do the pathology test. And so in that time that was exposed, she ended up getting an infection. And, you know, I only can go off of what you're telling me. So if you're telling me I'm fine, you know, I'm not in your body. I'm not in your mind. Right. I don't know what level of pain or whatever that you are experiencing. And so she kept trying to drag herself to work this week. And then on Wednesday, it got so bad that she just couldn't even do it anymore. And she sat there Wednesday and Thursday, instead of telling us how bad it was, I guess she thought it was going to get better. If I take a little of this, take a little of that, it'll be fine. But it wasn't. And so we had to put her in the hospital Friday. And they've been pumping her with antibiotics and nausea medicine because she's very just dizzy and nauseated. And just trying to get her back together. The doctor had to come. I'm sorry to discuss y'all for a second, but they had to squeeze all of this pus and shit out of it. And it got very infected. And it's like, girl. Right. If you would have sat your ass at home a little longer, you would have gave your body the time it needed to heal, and then you wouldn't be here. So I'm hoping that this experience has taught her, girl, cancer is serious. Like this is, I know that you're not used to. My mama, she's like me. I'm a busybody. I like to move around. I walk fast. She do all that shit. We are very much so alike, and we don't like to be down. So I understand, but it's like in order for you to get better, you're gonna have to take that time. And so I hope she understands now. Okay. I ain't as young as I used to be no more. Right. It's going to take a little longer for this old body of mine to get it together. But so she's going to be fine. So when you text me and you was like, okay, 30 more minutes, I was at the hospital. I was like, okay, cool. I got 30 more minutes to sit on up here. But after we get done, I'll be headed back up there. But yeah, this week it's been a doozy. So I'm not as abreast. But I do got some things we're going to talk about. So we will get into some things. So what's going on over there in your world?
I just want to say this. I didn't even, I'm hearing this for the first time as well. I wouldn't have even wanted to record knowing that she was sitting up at the hospital with your mama.
Look, that was the dilemma because I sat here and I was like, we just said last week that we were going to be consistent. And I'm like, because I was like, Lord Jesus, I really kind of need to tell Wise Guy that we don't need to record today. But I'm like, okay, I think I can just slide out of here for 2 hours and get on this mic real quick. And then, okay, so I was like, okay, we're going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to be here. We're going to do it. It ain't nothing it ain't like I can be up there squeezing pulse. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I can step out for a couple hours. It's going to be fine. But yeah, we here.
Well, we were definitely keeping your mother and you in our prayers. I'm sure that they'll be happy that you even provided an episode. But in the future, these girls will be all right. They will be all right.
Okay, I'm telling you, next week, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all right now. Then while we here, we may not have an episode next week. Okay, and that is because when my mama had the first surgery, I don't know if I said this. I'm getting so, you know, you tell people stuff. I'm forgetting who I done told what to.
Right.
But she has to have surgery again because they did not get all of the cancer out the first time. So that's why it was so important that she really needed to stay home, because it's like, girl, you didn't have no complications after that surgery, and you trying to rush your ass back up there to work. You done caused an issue that was not an issue when you already have another surgery that's coming up. Her next surgery is next Friday. So there's a strong possibility that we may not be able to record next week. So I'm going to, you know, stay in contact with Wise Guy Code and try to give him advance notice as much as I can. And but I just wanted to go and put that out there because now that y'all know the situation, what's going on. I'm not gonna feel bad about missing next week, so I may not have one.
And I trust me, they will be all right, and I'm sure they will agree. So you want to go ahead and get started? What you want to do? You asked me what I've been up to.
I asked you what's going on with you, girl.
I literally
you trying to slide by giving us your business.
I really don't have that much business this week. I started the new job. It's been more than what I could have hoped for, which is great.
Okay, I was going to say that. Is that because that sounds like that could be a good thing or a bad thing? So
no, it was good. It was
okay,
great. Good. Everything was great. I can't even speak to how good everything went this week.
Great it is. Yes, bitch.
And then I got from my boss, because my direct supervisor, who I report to, she actually lives in Canada, which I'm going to have to talk to you about that because that may change the recording days or something like that because I'm going to have to slide over to Toronto real quick. But,
okay.
So she had already, at the end of the week, she's like, okay, I want you to go home early. This was a phenomenal week. I couldn't be more impressed with you, and so on and so forth. So it was a really good week. I enjoyed the job. I enjoyed the people. I performed well, got the pat on the back, everything that I wanted. So
Come on now.
This has been a good week for me. So
girl, I'm over here clapping, bitch. I'm so happy for you. I'm serious. That is awesome. That is awesome.
Clap for me,
I know you. I know you, and I know how much you care, and I know how smart you are. And I know how hard you work, and I know I'm serious, and I know that whatever it is that you do, you're gonna do it well, and so I'm not at all surprised to hear that. Not at all.
Thank you, I appreciate it. But that's about it that's been going on with me. School, normal stuff. But other than that, I guess we can go ahead and start this episode because I don't have any preteen to talk about.
We sure can. Okay, let me say this. James Ingram, he's a singer. He passed away this week. I don't know if you guys heard about that. I think he was 66. So
did you post him?
I did post him. Yes.
The video of him singing with the pitch on the side of him.
Girl, yes. Didn't he sound good, bitch?
Yes, I did. I had never.
That man
I'm
can
not
sing.
familiar with him. But
okay, that man can sing. Well, if y'all ain't familiar, I'm probably during this episode it breaks or whatever. I'll probably have some of his music. So I just want you to know you listening to James Ingram, and so that'll be who you'll be hearing. So I was gonna say I'm wise guy code. Jesus, Lord have mercy. Girl, this is already not shaping up to be a good episode. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm Tiger Tansy, Lord. Help.
And I'm wise guy code. And welcome to Backseat Drivers. Let's get it. Let's
Come on,
go.
James. Bring us on in, James.
In your arms tonight, she'll reflect that she owes you the sweetest of days. And she wants to pay. Find 100 ways. You better believe it. Oh, love her today. Find 100 ways. Hey, baby, you gotta leave. Oh, 100 ways.
Bitch, I'm from Louisiana.
Okay,
Bitch,
I guess
I'm gonna have to put that song in here somewhere. I'm gonna have to
I
put
guess
that
we're
in
gonna
here.
go ahead and talk about that. So I didn't know about this, but Louisiana had passed a law in 2014. It was called let me see what the name of this law is. If y'all can give me just a moment. Let me go to the right one. It was called the Unsafe Abortion Protection Act. So
What is this?
the Unsafe Abortion Protection Act. What does that sound like?
It sound like some bullshit. Sound like
So-
men trying to tell women what to do yet again.
So the Unsafe Abortion Protection Act, what it does or what it did is require abortion clinics to be within 30 miles of a what did they say? Within 30 miles of a hospital that they had acting privileges at. So it sounds simple. It's basically saying that the abortion clinic, they can perform the abortion, but they had to be within 30 miles radius of somewhere, of a hospital, basically, that they already had privileges, already had a relationship with.
Okay.
The problem that ensued because of this, people felt like this was a direct attack to kind of limit abortion availability in not in the United States, in Louisiana. The reason that is because only one abortion clinic in the state qualified. Basically, only one abortion clinic was already within 30-mile radius. And I think that there's certain, in Louisiana, there's certain laws that stipulate where abortion clinics could and could not be. I think they couldn't be too close from like schools and government buildings and stuff like that. It was basically by adding this extra stipulation, y'all already was pushing abortion clinics outside of the city. So now that you're telling them, now that they're outside of the city, basically major city limits, they can't be too far outside the city. So what ended up happening is only one abortion clinic was met these qualifications since they passed this law in 2014. So now the Supreme Court has stepped in and they have put a temporary halt on the law because they're basically determining if this law is even going to be allowed, if they are indeed trying to circumvent abortions by not making abortions available. So that's pretty much what's going on. Louisiana has been known for this clownery for since they've been Louisiana. So
since it's been Louisiana, bitch. Look, girl, since it's been Louisiana, we've been clowning, honey.
So I'm not even surprised, but I am surprised that the Supreme Court actually stepped in and said, "Hold on, this something ain't right." So
I'm gonna have to look at the Supreme Court and see who over there leading shit. Let me see who we got over there. Must be some people Obama put up in there. No.
Well, that's what's going on in Louisiana. So I decided to do that because we know I haven't been doing any Louisiana news, but for the few listeners that we have that are actually from Louisiana, and this is a Louisiana-based podcast, so that's a little tidbit of what's going on down south. Now, what you get?
Alrighty. It is my go, I guess. I guess that's what that is, girl. That
yes,
was quick, bitch. You ain't playing, okay?
That was a small one. That was a small one.
Okay, so you got some more for us.
Yeah, I have way more.
Okay, so let's talk here for a second about Terry Crews. It's been a lot going on social media lately dealing with Terry Crews. We're gonna have to be in his corner as well as not in his corner on this episode. Okay, that's how complicated this tea is. So first, what we're gonna talk about is Terry Crews. He called out a lot of celebrities, male celebrities, for mocking his assault. So he called out D.L. Hughley, he called out 50 Cent, he called out Russell Simmons, and he called out Tariq Nasheed or something to that effect. His name is.
Okay.
And he really focused in on D.L. Hughley because he was a fan of D.L. Hughley. He, kind of grew up admiring D.L. Hughley. So that's really the one he focused mostly on. 50 Cent, we already know he's a clown. Clowns do clown things. We know this.
Clowns participating in clownery.
Come on. Tariq, I tried to look up his career and dust came out my phone. So I'm not finna focus on him today. It's not happening. And Russell Simmons, we already know Kwame done paid him a visit in the form of about 12 allegations of sexual assault. So we not even gonna have to deal with that.
Girl.
It's over a dozen. I know that I think it's over a dozen. So we ain't gonna even have to worry about that. But we're gonna talk about D.L. Hughley because you made one of the comments. You said a lot of great stuff last week. One of the comments that you made was that you have to choose. Either you're going to be woke or you're going to be sleep. You can't be straddling the fence. Well, D.L. Hughley is one of them people that really want to straddle the fence because if you pay attention to the things that he talks about on social media or even on his radio show, he's always acting as if he's looking out for the interests of black people and for the progression of black culture. But at the same time, he is a problem. Like you are very, not to bring back the word problematic, but he very much so is. So before we get to what happened with Terry Crews, I just wanted to run through two things that he did in the last 7 years. Things that D.L. Hughley has done that has been an issue and not, in the direction of what he claimed he is, which is woke. In 2012, he appeared on NPR to tell host Michelle Martin, who is a black woman, that he had never met an angrier group of people than black women. Okay. And then on that same radio show, he defended Don Imus, who, if y'all don't recall, that's the man who, he's also a fellow radio host. He referred to the Rutgers women's basketball team as nappy-headed hoes. So he defended him. Okay. That was 2012. That's one strike. 2014. Y'all remember Columbus Short? He was accused of domestic violence by his estranged wife. I think her name is Tanny McCall. She said that he beat her in front of their kids and then proceeded to place a knife at her throat and threatened to kill her and himself. And at the time, D.L. Hughley defended Columbus Short, referring to his wife as a thirsty bitch and a thirsty hoe. On his radio show, he said these things. Now, mind you, Columbus Short ended up pleading guilty to domestic violence and also said that he had been abusing substances, including alcohol and cocaine.
Right. And then Shonda Rhimes let that ass go. Well, she had already
let that ass go. Because you can't be up in here with a scandal on scandal. Okay? You can't be in here with a scandal on scandal. It don't work.
You draw attention away from the scandal on scandal.
Come on now. Come on. So that is just a quick, that's just 2 quick bullet points from a quick Google that I did on D.L. Hughley to find some of his very sleepy moments outside.
So you did a quick Google. What you're saying? Just a quick Google.
A quick Google. Come on now. Okay, so let's get to today. Well, actually, this was about 6 months ago that this interview happened. D.L. Hughley did it with Vlad TV. And so what I'll do is for y'all who hadn't heard what he had to say about Terry Crews's assault, I'll play it right here.
I think it's hard for me to think that a dude with all those muscles can't tell an agent to not touch his ass.
His ass or his dick?
Whatever
he touched.
I just do. I don't understand. I think that now everybody's so into this notion that it happened to me too. Hey, motherfucker, God gave you muscles so you can say no and mean it.
Y'all heard that. This is why men stay silent. This right here is why men stay silent. This is why they continue to either punch their way through problems or just go throughout life dealing with these problems and finding ways that are unconventional ways to try to cope with them. Whether it's putting their hands on another woman or whatever the case, drugs or whatever it may be. This is why men stay silent. How could you be more stereotypical to think that in every situation he's supposed to punch his way through it?
Right.
Is there anything that's more stereotypical of a 6'2" black man, 235 or so pounds?
If he would have punched him, he would have been unemployed probably the rest of his life. We would have never saw Terry Crews again. We'd be like, oh, you remember that guy from? That's what we would have been. That's what he would have. That would have been it. That would have been it. Would have happened to his career.
Because the way that it happened at if you've heard Terry Crews talk about it, it happened at like a party, and so. When the situation went down, there were not a lot of people around who actually witnessed because people were partying. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when you in a club it's a lot that can go down in a club because you ain't just paying attention to every single person, every single situation that's taking place. So that is when this happened. So just think about if you in the club and then he done grabbed this man, which Terry Crews did push Adam. Okay, let it be known because I don't know why these motherfuckers out here acting like he ain't push him. He did, and he said that from the get-go, that he pushed the man back, okay? And then next thing you know, you see Terry Crews haul off and punch him. That's what everybody gonna see. That will be the part that people gonna see. That's gonna be the headline. It ain't gonna be that Adam grabbed Terry. It's gonna be Terry Crews punches Hollywood executive Adam Bennett.
Right.
And then from there, he'll have to try to prove that is something that happened to him.
And right. People would have been saying he was lying.
Reaction.
People would have said he was lying and he homophobic and everything under the sun. They would have dragged him.
Yep.
But you would have been in his corner, I guess.
So this is what Terry said on Twitter because he did finally, like I said, that interview was like 6 months ago. And this week Terry ended up responding to it, and he said, speaking of Terry, D.L. Hughley, you at 50 Cent, Uncle Russ, and Tariq have decided my sexual assault was hilarious, whereas there is a whole generation of black women and men who don't think it's funny. Abusers protect abusers, but they also mock survivors. I think that was strong. That was powerful because I think that is true. I think that is absolutely true. And then he went on, like I said, he focused on DL, and he said, But now you are an example of, because he talked about how he was a fan and all of that. And he said, but now you are an example of when comedy turns to sarcasm and cynicism. And you find it extremely easy to get jokes at someone else's expense. You mock my success, but all I have ever done was support you.
Right.
And then he went further and further to say, because DL ended up responding, and he was like, oh, you finally saw the interview. And he said, sir, you said that I should have pushed him back or restrained him. I did all of those things, and you act like I didn't. And DL responded and said, that's different from slapping the shit out of him. So this is somebody that you want to stay ignorant.
Right.
You said you made them come in six
comfortable.
months ago. You comfortable in your ignorance. You comfortable in the clownery. He is. He's relishing in it. And this is somebody, and this goes to the point that you made last week as well, when you said we ain't canceling the right people. This is another example. We not canceling. DL needs to be gone.
Right. Out of here.
He out of here, because he also, of course, supported Kevin Hart in his clownery.
With the homophobic comments that
with the
Kevin Hart
homophobic
made.
shit. He supported him with that. He was like, it's jokes. Yeah, that's right, Kevin. You stand by what you said.
You stand by your non-apology that never actually even was remotely an apology that he called an apology. But anyway, we're going to get to his ass in a minute. We'll keep going.
So I love what Terry Crews said next. He after he said that's different than D.L. Hughley said that's different than slapping the shit out of him. Terry responded and said, so sir, if you truly feel that it is the correct way to deal with toxic behavior, should I slap the shit out of you?
I felt that in my shondo when
I
saw
too.
that tweet.
I
I was like, "Hey,
come on now!" I
immediately
slapped.
saw the visual. I could just see it.
I think I felt the visual, bitch, because Terry Crews. I don't think that's the thing about it. It's like, who is questioning whether or not Terry Crews could have handled that situation in that way? I don't think that is a question. I don't think that you, DL Hughley, would actually be standing in front of Terry Crews and make that comment. I don't think you would. I really don't think you would. And he didn't. So he didn't respond to that. He did end up responding to something that Terry Crews said later, but we'll get to that. We're gonna let another reckless come on in the room.
He didn't have nothing to say about this. Well, he didn't respond.
He didn't, because what you gonna do? What you gonna do to this man, this muscle man? Who talks crazy to people like that? Like,
and
look
it
at
makes
that man.
sense.
Do you see him?
I should just be slapping every bitch in here who, and by bitch I mean DL Hughley, in here who said something stupid. Every time somebody says something stupid that offends me, I should just slap the shit out of you. So right now, with your own logic, I should literally slap the shit out of you.
And DL, like I wasn't supposed to say all that, but on Twitter and stuff, he was trying to act like he was, you're threatening violence, and now, like he later on he tried to pull all of that when he brought in Gina Rodriguez, which we'll get to that later. But it's like, bruh, like no. He used your logic.
Right.
You were the one who suggested that that's the way to handle toxic behavior. So using your logic, can I then do it to you? That's it. That's all he had. He ain't threatening you. He's saying, would it work since you toxic? Would it work to you? Does it apply? That's all he's asking.
Oh, Lord.
But anyway.
Yes.
Come on in the room, sis. What you got?
Yes. So, Virginia. Hey, Virginia. I guess we hitting all the southern states today.
I already know where you're going with this.
Virginia governor is now facing criticism and backlash after it was revealed from his own. Before I say this, you know how when you have a school yearbook, you can buy your own page, like towards the back of the book, like the seniors can buy their own page. Well, I don't know. For us, it was the seniors can buy their own page, and it's nothing but pictures that you selected and pictures that you want on your yearbook page and your quotes and whatever you want, and that page is literally dedicated to you. So that's important. So basically, Virginia governor, what is his name? Ralph Northam. He's facing backlash and criticism after it was discovered that his 1984 high school yearbook, the page that was dedicated to him, included a photo of two Caucasian men, one dressed in complete blackface and the other one just in a Ku Klux Klan outfit. Okay? So initially, he did confirm that this was not his Facebook, his yearbook page, and that he was in the picture. Now, he did not clarify whether he was the blackface, because we can't see the person in Ku Klux Klan, obviously, because he had the full hat on and everything. And then the person in blackface was black as tar. So we couldn't, we didn't know which one was him, but he's in this photo.
Exactly.
And he did not initially.
Can I say real quick,
ahead.
just briefly? I don't like, because I'm looking at the picture, because I got CNN on with the volume off. I just don't like how these motherfuckers like to hide. Like you say, you can't tell who it is.
Right.
Motherfucker, if you want to be that damn racist, go ahead and put a picture of yourself, the regular you. The way that you really look. Put that picture on the side of this shit. I get tired of them hiding behind these masks and this tar. No, show me what the fuck you really look like, so then we can know when to go in. Like, that bothers me, because it's like, you know what the fuck you doing wrong. You know you made your face black enough to where nobody was going to be able to tell who the fuck you were. Y'all wearing them damn masks to hide your identity. That shit really fucks me up. If you want to be that motherfucker, then at least be like Trump and be out here and be open with the shit.
Right.
Be open with the ignorance so we can shut your
But
ass
be
down. We might
ducking
can't
in
touch Trump.
every noise that come on at his press conference. He be ducking like he don't know what's going on. He about to run off like a little bitch that he is. But anyway,
Right.
back to this. And I do want to shout this out. Shout out to the school, Virginia Medical School, Eastern Virginia Medical School, which is the school that allowed this tomfoolery to happen in their yearbook. According to DL Hughley logic, we need to find out who that principal was, who those teachers
And
was, and
slap
slap the shit out of them.
Come on.
Because that's how we dealing with toxic behavior, I guess. But anyway, so the school, the pictures went viral. He immediately said, yes, I was in the picture. He declined to comment on which person it was, because he didn't know if it was better to be in blackface or better to be in the Ku Klux Klan. So he didn't know which political way to swivel through that. So he decided not to identify which person in the photo he was. That was initially.
That is funny, because they reminded me of a tweet that I saw. I saw a tweet. Somebody said, I never thought I would have to ask this question to a governor, but which one are you, the one in blackface or the one in the KKK mask? Like, I never thought I would have to ask that fucking question.
Right.
God damn.
So that happened. Then it was revealed later in his military yearbook, his military institute, Virginia just fucking up. Virginia Military Institute, his yearbook. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me rewind. So the Ku Klux Klan and blackface was from his medical school. I'm sorry, not high school. His medical school 1984 yearbook. But if you go back a little bit further than that, his 1981 Virginia Military Institute yearbook also had comments under, you know how you can say your nicknames. He had two nicknames. One was called Goose and the other one was Coonman, like coon and man. Mm-hmm. So that's clearly a racial slur as well. So he was preluding, you know, I'm feeling strongly towards the blackface, but who knows? He could be the Ku Klux Klan. You know, it's kind of, I'm feeling 60-40 blackface to Ku Klux Klan based off his nickname being Coonman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so so I can't, my clownery detector is still confused, but so that happened. So then he decides to turn around and say, well, I might not be in the picture. Nigga, what? I might not be in the picture. You don't recall if you dress. So what that really means to me is you definitely have dressed up at least as blackface and as a Ku Klux Klanman before.
So he has. Were you gonna mention when the time that he really has?
What do you mean?
Okay, so when I don't know how this happened. It was timing, bitch. But when I walked in the house, literally the first thing I did was I turned on the TV.
Today, because this story is breaking from yesterday. So my research is from yesterday. So they got another picture.
Okay, so yes, he done did a press conference. Now I don't know, from the way they was talking, this damn conference was just literally this morning. But like I said, I'm not 100 on that. But when I walked in, the girl on the TV was like, and now here's Ralph to talk about. I was like, okay, this is on time. So he sat up here And like you said, he's now claiming that neither one of the pictures, not the blackface nor the KKK mask, neither one of them, after having accepted responsibility yesterday, now he is saying that neither one of the damn pictures is him. But he said that I have dressed up in blackface before. He said that I went to a party. He said I went to a party and I went as Michael Jackson. And he said, and I used shoe polish on my face. He said, so neither one of them pictures. At that point, I was like, I really don't give a fuck if neither picture is you. Nigga, you still done did the shit.
Right.
You still have done blackface. It don't matter if it's one of the pictures or not. Bitch, you did it.
Right. And then you posing in a picture with, so long story short, he said, I'm not resigning. And this goes to Trump. Trump and his tomfoolery and the way that these Republicans and these people getting set up in politics, they accepted anything. This would have been immediately next day or same day. I'm regretfully have to just resign. They do a little stupid looking speech at the desk in the office saying I'm resigning effective immediately. Blah 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 blah. But now these people are standing in their tomfoolery. We just had the Mississippi senator race. She up here joking about hanging people, lynching people, and then she still stayed in the race and then won.
Right. And then we got the I think recently we had the Florida Secretary of State. He had to resign because I believe there was a picture of him that surfaced in blackface as well.
So these people are getting bold and brave, and they saying, I'm tired of being a closet racist. Y'all know what the deal is. I'm staying in this bitch. That's basically what they saying. That's literally where we are in regards to this today.
And he set his ass up on this TV talking about, I'm not going to resign because that would be the easy road. If I resign, that would be easy. But if I stay in office, then I have to face these questions, and I have to face my past, and I have to. No, get your ass out. Get out. And let me mention that this is a Democrat, because I just want y'all to know, like, we talk about all the time. We typically vote Democrat because typically it's the Democrats that at least have our policies in mind, that we kind of have some leverage with. Usually you hear about these stories. These stories are. I ain't gonna say they're a rarity when it comes to Democrats, but they're not as often. Normally, you see this shit coming from the Republicans, and let's just keep it real.
Right.
You see, you'll get a cute, nasty story like this at least every 3 or 4 months from the goddamn Republican Party. But with the Democrats, it's a little bit more. It's a little less likely that you.
Let's be very clear. Southern Democrats are not your average Democrat.
Okay,
Southern Democrats are still. They just less conservative.
Yes.
That's all that means.
Yes.
When you
they
come
put it like this: Southern Democrats
Texas,
did the clownery back. Southern Democrats did the clownery back then. They did historical clownery. Okay. And then they got their shit together. They did historical clownery. We gon' let's keep it real. They was right there dancing right along with their Republican friends doing this dumb shit historically. And then they woke up and realized, oh, this might not be cute. This might not be the tea. This might not be
right.
it. Let me. I might name this episode "Historical Clownery," bitch. I don't know.
Right. Because I just want to be very clear. If you are a Democrat and you get elected to any public office, governor, senator, congressman, as a Democrat, you are definitely more conservative than any Democrat. You're not from New York. You ain't from Cali. You ain't one of them. You ain't one of these other Democrats. There's a distinction. But yeah,
we already know what Virginia made of. I no shade to the Virginia girls, but when them white folks came down here, where did they settle? Where was the first place they settled? Motherfucking Virginia, bitch. Okay, I'm just saying.
Right, but let me see if there's anything else I wanted to mention on him. He said he just released a statement. I have spent the past years, your governor, fighting for Virginia that works better for all people. See, my whole thing is you don't understand that I'm not even about to explain it to you. I'm not even about to do it. But it's not, I have dressed in blackface, but the easy road would be resigning. The reason that you need to resign is because you not understanding the historical context of blackface, and especially if you do and still participate in that action and in that tomfoolery, in that clownery, that lets me and America and Virginians know that your train of thought and your thinking should not be in a position to implement laws and procedures for other people. That's essentially what we're trying to say. That's why you need to resign, not because somebody's just mad at you. No, because that speaks to your character. That speaks to your mindset. That speaks to what you're going to do and the legacy you're going to leave for Virginians. So, but anyway, I'm done.
I don't have the age right in front of me, but I believe when I was, kind of looking into that man a little bit, I saw that he was in med school. I think he was like age 35. I like to put all that out there because I just don't want you to think that just some 15, 16, 17, 18.
Right. He was a full ass
Not that
grown-ass
would
man.
necessarily make it a whole lot better, but yes, he was a full grown ass man. Okay.
Yep. So they couldn't do that. Oh, boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. That they love to throw out there as soon as a white man get caught doing something that they're not supposed to be doing.
They do. They do.
But anyway.
Okay, so like I told y'all, we was gonna be pro Terry Crews at the beginning of this, but Terry did something he ain't had no business doing.
Did he go and slap the shit out of somebody?
He supported somebody he ain't have no business supporting.
Lord.
Black women might need to slap the shit out of him after this. I'm just
Lord.
Judging what he say, judging from if we all doing DL's logic, then Terry, you need to be issuing a slap to DL, and then black women need to be issuing a slap to your ass after this shit. So do you know who Gina Rodriguez is?
Regina, who is that? It reminds me.
Gina Rodriguez. I don't know her. I don't know Fish.
Okay.
I don't know her.
Okay, so I don't think I know her
but people
either.
do. I think she has the movie that's out now. I'm thinking about, is it called Bella?
Oh,
or something?
yes. She was on that
That's
panel
Gina Rodriguez.
she was on that panel with Ellen
Pompeo.
Pompeo. Yeah.
Oh,
and
Pompeo.
Gabriel.
Oh, God, I got it
Yeah.
Down. Yes, down.
Yeah.
Down.
Mm-hmm.
So what had happened was Terry Crews got dragged for taking up for Gina. Okay. So let me give you what's been going on with Gina. This is really a black women's issue, which is why I said Terry Crews didn't have. I'm not gonna say it's a black women's issue.
Something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she did, and I'm gonna get into some of what she said. I don't want to say. Let me fix that because I don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's a black woman issue. We shouldn't give a damn. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you have an imposing opinion about it, you need to shut the fuck up because this is not your issue. And that's regardless of what we talking about. If we talking about, I say that a lot when we talking about issues that have to deal with the LGBT community. If you are not LGBT, then shut the fuck up because you don't understand. If you gonna come in this bitch opposing, then you stay over there with your opposing opinion in your brain. We don't need you to be putting that out here because you're not part of the community. So, from what I gathered, because like I said, I don't know this Gina girl. I'm not planning on seeing this movie or whatever. I did post a video of her on our Instagram one time and people started coming negative stuff about her. So it was at that point that I actually realized, okay, it's something with this girl. Taraji was in the video. That was why I posted it. Let that be known. I posted it because of Taraji, but Gina was standing there. But anyway, let's keep going. So from what I have gathered, okay, my phone is telling me it want to do an update. Not now, girl. I'm trying to talk. From what I have gathered, Gina, she's trying to be a voice for the Latina community, which is great. That's fine. It's dandy. But she oftentimes tries to piggyback her issues and the issues that the Latina community are facing on. She tries to piggyback off of the movements that black people and specifically black women have been championed for. Like she almost tries to make the Latina community seem less like, more of a minority than the black community. Like she tries to, you already have a community that's being negatively impacted and is trying to come up, and then you trying to come up off of them. And it's like, girl, no, come up off of who's the majority. Don't come up off of us. We in the minority with you. We trying to grow with you. Come up off of the majority.
We still trying to get our 40 acres and a mule. But anyway, keep going.
Come on. Okay, so let me give you a couple of examples because I don't like to just say that and then not tell you what the fuck was happening. So one example is October 2018. Gina was being interviewed along with Yara Shahidi. And I may actually insert it so that you can hear because I like you to be able to hear what happened, yourself.
You are just goals for so many young black women who just look
for
up to
so many
you.
women.
So many women. Yeah, for women too, but for black women, we need people on a whole nother level.
So she felt the need to emphasize women. You are a representation for women. And I love, if y'all heard, I love what the interviewer said. He was like, yeah, Yeah, she's a representation for women too. But specifically for black women, it's a special type of woman that can be representative and be a role model for black women. So it's almost as if like it felt like you tried to all lives matter that statement. You tried to all lives matter his compliment to Yara. That was a compliment that you are, because it's one thing, let's keep it real. It's one thing to be a representation for all women. That's beautiful. I think Oprah is a great representation for all women. But she also deals specifically, if you think about her school out there in Africa that's geared towards black girls out there, she does things specifically for the black community. Because that is the community that she is a part of, and a community that she has that she cares the most about. Now, if all women can be inspired by Oprah, that's great. But it takes a special woman to inspire just the black community, to focus on just the black community. So he was really lifting Yara up, and I felt like he wasn't talking to you, Gina. He was not talking to you. He was talking to Yara, and shout out to the interviewer for coming back and saying, no, well, yeah, for women, but we're talking about black women. And what appalled me the most, come on, and I know that you didn't hear the clip, but what appalled me the most was that he asked Gina a question right after that, and then she started going into this whole spiel about how she's a representation for Latina women.
How does it feel to get that kind of protection, that kind of love from fans and people around you?
Surreal also, yeah. I mean, you definitely get into, I know for myself, I got into the arts so that I can hopefully create a path to have a reflection for our community, for Latinos,
So you want to sit up here and be able to talk about how you are a representation and how you inspire Latino women, but then when Yara was when they was giving Yara her flowers for doing it to black women, you shut that down. What's up with that? What sense does that make? And so that's just one example. What is her name?
I almost called her Bella.
Gina Rodriguez. Gina Rodriguez.
Gina girl. We not about to do this with you. We not about to do this. I think it stems from not you know how you almost understand but you don't quite get it. Like you understand a little premise of what's going on, but you haven't had that aha moment. It hasn't all the way clicked. And I think that's she's in that phase where she want to be down, she want to be cool, she want to be woke, but she don't fully get it. She don't fully get the struggle. You hitting the nail on the head. And at the end of the day, she recognizes and she sees her struggle because she knows her struggle. She knows the struggles of a Latina woman. She lives it. Her mother lived it. Her grandmother has lived it. She knows and understands that fully. It's already clicked for her. But the struggles, and I'm not gonna even put it like we trying to out-struggle. Black women is out-struggle. But black women are the most unappreciated, undervalued group of people in the world. Period. Point blank. That's it. That's it.
Next question.
There's no facts. Period.
What Kaya say? Next caller.
Right.
That's it.
And until you understand that, and the reason, I not only does she probably doesn't know that, but even if she did know that, she doesn't understand it because it takes time. Because I almost don't even blame her, because our history as black people is not really taught. It's not put in the forefront, which is another issue. So you would have to seek it out yourself. And I feel like she's one of those people, she wants to be woke. She wants to be, the girl up here with Ellen. Ellen Pompeo gets it, because I've seen a dozen interviews of Ellen Pompeo. She understands it. Her husband is black. Her children are black. She understands it. She took the time to learn the history. I get it. But as she gets it. Gina, is that her name? That's Gina? That's her name?
Yeah, that's it. I know. It's so easy to forget because she's just... Let me stop. I don't want to say it too hard.
She has not yet done all the homework, all the necessary background checks. She didn't do the quick Google that she needs to do to be fully abreast. To you don't even know
understand. You don't even know how well you have introduced what I was about to say next. You hit it all. From mentioning Ellen to mentioning her not doing the research, you've hit it all. So the other example I wanted to give y'all was November of 2018 when they had that round table that Wise Guy Cole mentioned with Ellen Pompeo and Gabrielle Union and Gina Rodriguez, who was also there. She said at that little round table, I get so petrified. By the way, they were talking about the pay gap. pay gap and all of that. She said, I get so petrified in this space talking about equal pay, especially when you look at the intersectional aspect of it, right? Where white women get paid more than black women get paid more than Asian women get paid more than Latina women, and it's like a very scary space to step into. First off, your statistics are wrong. Let's start there. Your stats.
I remember watching the entire 30-minute interview. When she said that, I was like, that sounds like a lie. That sound, but I was too busy. You know, Ellen Pompeo was always coming back and hitting us with facts. I couldn't focus on that non-fact. I was too busy focusing on that, so I didn't ever go and give that too much energy. I was just like,
she fell into the background.
Right.
So, what was I about to say? Gina, it feels as if, in the way that I've seen from a number of the black women who I've seen on Twitter and stuff talking about this, it feels really as if instead of focusing on actually lifting the Latino women up, you're focusing more on trying to make your struggle look worse than black women. That's how it feels. Us. You're trying to out-struggle, and baby, it's not gonna really be possible. Okay, we weren't trying to go down that road,
right?
But it's like if you want to go down there, then baby, it's not gonna come out in your favor. Okay, right. You're gonna have to stop that one.
Especially in this country. In this country, she about to make me mad. I was trying to let you slide, giving you a little pat, and learn your lesson, and move on. But you about to make me mad. Not in this country.
Come on now.
Not in this country. We're not about to play this our struggle game. We're not even about to think about it. I don't want to hear no bullshit about it ever again. We're not about to do it. We not. Because y'all not even in the close second, bitch, unless the Native Americans got second on lock. So y'all not even about to be seen up here and act like y'all about to out-struggle us in this country. No, ma'am.
Come on now. Come on. So let me give some more accurate statistics as far as the pay gap outside of Hollywood as well as within Hollywood for women. So speaking outside of Hollywood, Asian women are first. I think we've said this before. Asian women are first.
Asians. Okay, so when it comes to the hierarchy in this country, there are white men who are leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else. Shortly after that is Asian men, Asian women, then white women. That's how the hierarchy falls.
That is the hierarchy. Yes. Yes. So Asian women, when you're just looking at women, Asian women make more money in this country than white women. White women come in second, and then third would be black women, and then last would be Hispanic women. So the point is, instead of trying to make black women look like we so far up the pay scale, which we are not, you could have just focused on the fact that Hispanic women typically come in last when it comes to pay. You could have just said that and that been it. And then we could have talked about that, especially if you, like I say, outside of Hollywood, that we could have opened up that door and opened up that discussion. Like y'all can celebrate your community without having to down another one. Like when we say Black Girl Magic, we don't say Black Girl Magic, white women ain't shit. We just say Black Girl Magic. That's it. We don't feel the need to say Black excellence, whites ain't shit. No, we just say Black excellence. Right. If you choose to get offended by that, then that's just on you.
Black women are the most educated demographic in America, period.
Come on, that's true.
Let me put that out there. They're more educated than white men, Asian women, white women. So we're not even about to, and then so it's judging, because I was always told, if you look at the distribution curve on the wealthiest people in America, the common thread is education, meaning the more educated the group of people are, the more money they will make. So in that case, black women need to jump to the top of that list. But has that happened? Nope. Is it going to happen anytime soon?
Nope.
Are they even second on the list? Third, fourth, fifth? Nope. No. So don't even she about to make me mad. See, I'm trying not to.
Come on now. So we already did the information I gave, that was for outside of Hollywood, but in Hollywood last year, 2018, Sophie Vergara was the highest paid actress all year. Out of everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
Shocking.
All the women.
I'm not shocked.
She wore all the women out. Shocking, huh? a Latina woman, right?
Right.
And you know there was only out of in the top 10 women, there was one black woman on the list.
Who was it? Do you
want to take a guess?
Was?
I know who it is. You want to take a guess?
I feel like it should be Viola Davis because of her acting, but I'm not sure but I'm feeling like it gotta be somebody who's popular. So let me see. You said this is acting, right? Just Hollywood.
2018 acting.
Acting.
Black woman.
Is she okay? Can I get an age? Is she over 50?
Is she over 50 years old? No.
Yes. If she's okay. Ooh. I do not know who this person is. Who is this?
Okay, I'll give you her name and then you tell me. Then you guess the position that she came in on the top 10 list. I was about to say the number. Jesus. Forgot that fast.
Okay, don't give me her name. Don't give me. Washington.
Kerry Washington. Kerry Washington.
Yes.
And she didn't even. Scandal was over.
I'm confused. I'm like, Kerry Washington.
She came in on the list, yes, of last year, 2018
Okay.
Forbes. The list that Forbes released, she was the only black woman. But what that tells you a lot. The fact that we sitting here saying how Scandal was over, and this woman was still the only one out of all of the black women we know who were doing movies, but especially Viola Davis, like you say, because she did a lot of stuff last year. She's on a television show. She's in several movies.
All women. She's been out acting. That's when you should include all women.
And
she
she's
should
killing
out
them in
women.
the game. Killing them in the game. But her check is not reflective of her standing, of her talent. Her check is not reflective of her talent. That is what that is saying. So what position do you think Kerry Washington came in on the list?
I feel like it's 8 or 9. I feel like it's 8 or 9.
She came in at number 8. The number one paid woman in Hollywood,
Sofia
was
Vergara, whatever her name is. I don't know how to last name.
That's it. Okay. You said it.
Who was? You have the full top
Number
10?
I don't. And the rest of them, I can tell you this: the rest of them were white.
Okay, so it's only 2 minorities.
As expected. Only 2 minorities, and that's. See, come on now, you're getting at the point. We are all minorities. We are all struggling.
Right.
We are all trying to grow. We are all trying to find a position. We are all trying to be represented. But don't sit here and try to piggyback your struggle off of ours, because sis, the numbers and the statistics are not reflecting all of the stuff that you out here saying.
Right.
I ain't even done talked about how the fuck Terry Crews even factors into this, because I got so pissed at Gina.
Right,
So
we had to
Terry
go and
Crews
dissect
ass.
that real quick.
We had to go ahead and talk about that. Terry Crews ass. Black women were upset about, like I say, that's just 2 examples. It's much more than that. Like after Black Panther came out, she tweeted, or right before Black Panther came out or something like that, she tweeted and said, I think this was like late 2017. She tweeted and said something about, Marvel and DC are killing it with, representing people of color, representing black people and women. But what about the Latinos?
Ain't no, but what about? See, she don't get it. She don't get it. She don't get it.
They announced Black Panther. And your immediate response is, what bitch,
what about us?
This is the first. Can we get this? Can we have this first?
We ain't even got it yet. At that point, we hadn't
even got it yet at that point.
Right. We ain't even, girl. But what about us? Girl, get in line. Get in line.
Get it. Ooh, bitch. Now that might need to be the name of the episode, bitch.
Get in line,
bitch. I like that. Oh yes, honey. I like
we've
that.
We've been fighting for this for 100 since we've all been brought to this country. So girl.
In line.
I almost went and saw that movie, but the spirit told me not to go see that movie last night. The spirit told me not to go see it.
The spirit moved you correctly. Honey. So let's get to what Terry Crews said here. He tweeted and he tagged Gina, and because her name on Twitter is Here Is Gina, and he said, "Here Is Gina is a woman I have known, worked with, and continue to love for years. We have had personal conversations about the lack of inclusion in both of our communities. I stand with her because I know her heart." Terry.
Okay, I'm actually not too mad at this comment. What he's trying to say is we basically overreacting, but as we just dissected, we had an appropriate reaction.
He really ain't even saying us, because it's not black men that are saying anything about Gina. It's black women that have had a problem with Gina's statements, and I felt like I had an issue with it because I felt like it was very dismissive, especially for a man who had just set his ass on TV and talked about how black women were the first and only group of people that came out to support him after his assault. They were the only ones who came out and were completely understanding of what he had experienced and the way that he handled it, including his black wife, who was the one who urged him not to fight that man, because he wanted to fight him in that moment, and then when they left, he talked about how he was trying to turn the car around to go back to beat that man's ass, and his wife was sitting there just holding his arm and kept saying to him over and over, "I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you." Your black wife is the one that kept your ass out of potentially having a fucking lawsuit against you from putting hands on this man. Black women have been the ones out here who have not been questioning your masculinity and your manhood behind the way that you decided to handle this. And then for you to sit up here and you obviously saw that black women had an issue with her, because that's the only reason that you put this tweet out here. And for you to see that, and for you to get your ass on Twitter and completely dismiss everything that they saying, you probably ain't even done paid attention to all the shit that Gina been out here saying every time she get a mic in front of her fucking mouth. And for you to get on Twitter and sit up here and dismiss the shit that they said, I was highly offended by that. Now, what I will say is he did apologize. He did, and like where I am today, I'm not finna be mad at Terry. I'm not finna hold it, but I'm also not speaking for black women. If they want to hold it against your ass, they more than goddamn. They should. They have it. Because they were out here protecting your ass while you got men out here making fucking fun of you, both in Hollywood and outside. Calling you less than a man, calling you gay, calling you this and that, calling you weak. Because of these action figure ass role models that they got of what a man is and what masculinity is supposed to look like. Black women had your damn back and you got your ass on Twitter and said this shit. I was high, and so there was one black woman.
She got us reading somebody we don't even need to be reading right now because of her stupid
Look,
comments.
I ain't even want to read him, but fucking Gina, bitch, sit your ass down somewhere, because you getting, like you said, you getting Terry Crews dragged, bitch, and I wasn't even trying to do that shit. But there was one black woman who I wanted to just read what she said, because like I say, I'm not a black woman. I wanted this to be a black woman issue. We don't have a black woman on the podcast. That might be what we need to be looking for, as a black woman, for real.
Right.
So her name is Incognegro 2018 _ on Twitter. I love that name, Incognegro. I love it. She said, Terry, it's interesting how you were just coming that black women had your back during the Me Too. Yeah, here you are throwing us under a bus in support of Gina. As usual, black men believing in victimhood of non-black women while throwing us under a bus. Disappointing.
Right.
I believe it, because it's like this woman, she went on Sway in the Morning and she cried and talked about how, because, black women have been some black women have been labeling her anti-black because of the statements that she's been making, which they have been coming off anti-blackish, I will say.
Right.
They have been coming off anti-blackish. And so she was on Sway like, oh my God, when I was growing up, black women were the only ones that I saw and stuff in movies. They were the ones that let me not say saw. They were the ones that she identified with, because she didn't see that many Latino women or whatever growing up in movies and stuff, which is understandable. I get it, even though we weren't in that many either, sis.
Right.
I understand what you're saying. And she was like, they were the ones that I identified with, clearly, because they were a little darker. So I can understand that.
They were non-white.
You identifying with them. They were non-white, exactly. So you would think if those were the women that you were identifying with, then you wouldn't be trying to basically make your plight,
she's doing
your
exactly
issue
what
worse.
people in this country have been taught to do with black women. You take from them and then you walk your ass right over them. That's exactly what she is doing. That's exactly what Terry has done. He take their support and then he go and use that support that they gave him in his platform, and then he go and support Hispanic woman. That's what it's time and time again. It's the same song sung over and over again. It's nothing new under the sun. It's not, I'm not even shocked nor surprised.
I agree.
People who think that they are woke, they are not as woke as they think they are.
Come on now, come on, DL Hughley. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
And a learning that it's a journey. Being woke is not a status. It's a journey. It is consistently moving in that direction. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say that you're not woke. You woke-ish. I think we all woke-ish, striving to be woke. That's what I feel. But
some of us are a little woke-ish and some of us are a little sleepy.
Right.
Some of y'all are a little bit more sleepy than y'all are woke. And DL, you a little bit more
sleepy to woke.
Come on.
Sleepy to woke scale. Y'all
come on. Or some of y'all sleepwalking. Let's come on. That's a whole nother category. Some of y'all sleepwalking.
Right.
But anyway,
that's the DL Hughless and sleepwalking. They
come on.
But anyway,
think they woke.
Keep it moving.
So I don't even know what the name of this episode gonna be. It's so many options. We could call this bitch sleepwalking. We could call it so many. I'm gonna have to listen back and see which one I choose. It's gonna be so many options. But anyway, Terry Crews, like I say, he did end up apologizing. I'm trying to move on because we got a limited amount of time. And I still got some other stuff to talk about. I know you do. Terry Crews, he did apologize. I'm not going to read his apology. He did apologize, and he basically said, this is a black women issue. Let me bow myself out, which is correct. That's correct. Because, like I said, I'm not asking you to come out here and bash Gina. I'm just not asking you to take her side. Just shut the hell up. Nobody asked you. DL Hughley did make a remark after Terry got dragged. Of course, now Terry told you he'll slap the shit out of you, and you was quiet. But after Terry got dragged, then you decided to make some more noise. And he said maybe it's a coincidence that Terry decided to respond to an interview I did last year, less than 36 hours after he started getting dragged on Twitter by black women who felt betrayed after he took up for Gina Rodriguez. Maybe not all of a sudden at 4 a.m. this becomes relevant for him to discuss on the same social media platform he's catching heat on after he deletes his insidious post. Blah, blah, blah. Not read no more. D.L. Hughley, guess what? What Terry Crews did don't validate what the fuck you did. Right. You ain't right just because Terry Crews fucked up right behind you. You ain't right, motherfucker. Like, you still ain't right. Like, what does this even mean?
Sit your ass down.
I don't even,
that's what that
sit the fuck down. You still wrong. That was still toxic behavior. It's still something. I'm not.
You still lost. It's over. It's done. It's just like a tournament. If you lose to somebody and they go on and lose in the next round, you still lost.
Come on.
It don't, just because they lost to somebody else doesn't. No, you still lost.
It don't delete the fact that you lost. Your wrong has not been deleted, baby. You still don't get the point. He thought that he thought he hit it. He thought, ooh, this guy, ooh, bitch, yeah, look at you, Terry, But you know what Terry did? Apologized.
Right.
You know what you didn't do?
Have you read his apology yet?
Who, Terry's? Oh, I didn't read it. I can if you want me to.
Let me know what he said.
He said, you are right. Let me read what the young lady said. She said, no, she's yet to respond to speaking over Yara Shahidi. And he responded to that, and he said, you are right. It's not my right to stand for anyone when I'm not the offended party. I'm going to let women hold other women accountable. Forgive me, y'all. I spoke too soon.
Right.
That was perfect.
That was good. It. He got it.
That's how I
back
feel.
In line.
Now, he did. He understood. Now I'm not gonna say black women however you want to feel it. This is my opinion. I feel like that was good. Like I'm cool for people acknowledging where you got me fucked up. I'm cool for people acknowledging that, and that's what he did. DL. You would think that a man who
stop acting like a
called
damn bitch.
DL. You would think you run around here being called DL. You would think you'd just be quiet and fall in line, DL. Because DL mean a whole nother thing to me, DL. Okay? You want to talk about masculinity, DL. Anyway, I'm going to hand the mic back to you.
So I'm going to do two quick things. Two quick ones. So I know you heard about Apple this week.
I have not, girl. What the hell?
You haven't heard about Apple?
I have not.
It was a glitch because Apple has they released like a few months ago the group FaceTime update where I can FaceTime multiple people, and like it shows them like multiple people on my screen. Like we can all be FaceTiming each other.
Oh, that's cute.
So they have that. It's basically like a group video call. I don't think the Androids have gotten there yet, but I'm sure they'll get it soon. But so that they unleashed that months ago. But they did some type of patch to it that allowed people to when group FaceTiming somebody,
okay,
you didn't have to answer your phone for the FaceTime to go through.
Ooh!
You didn't. It was all over Instagram. So let's say you have an iPhone, right? I have an iPhone. I FaceTime you, right? and you look at it, you like, nah, I'm busy. I'm
Ooh,
I'm
bitch,
good.
that is messy, girl.
But you don't, because you know when people like, because you, this is real. So you know how you don't end the call, you just may have mute your phone and stop ringing. You know what I'm talking about? You don't want to send them a voicemail, but let them know that that, but you just let it ring and then you go by doing what you're doing. So I'm calling you, right? So and then I go on conference with somebody else. You look at your phone, you're like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna chill. And then next thing you know, you hearing hello, and you like, bitch, what the fuck? You ain't answered your phone. You ain't did nothing. They done the whole FaceTime done picked up, and it's showing the screen. It's they can hear everything that you're doing. And so what ended up happening is it was happening to people. They group FaceTiming people, and then the phone is picking up. You in a meeting, you doing something you ain't got no business doing. You in a car, you ain't even hear the FaceTime. You in the bathroom. It's just
you ignoring a bitch and talking shit about them.
Right. And then the phone is just picking up, and it's putting it's opening your camera up, showing them everything that they can see, and the audio was crystal clear. So it was a whole.
I did not hear shit about this girl. I didn't hear shit.
It was
I also don't have an Apple product, so that might have something to do with it. But god damn, that is messy as hell. Now look, Android, when y'all get this shit over here, don't be playing them games. We ain't got time for that. Don't be getting people exiled from their family and losing friends and all kinds of shit.
So once it became viral, I think a 14-year-old boy reported it to Apple, and then also reported it probably to Facebook, and so it went viral. And so what people started doing is calling people, testing it out, and so everybody was getting called. And so Apple had to just go ahead and they immediately shut the whole group FaceTime feature all the way down, and they have yet to re-release it. They said we're gonna re-release it. I think they initially they were gonna send an update to fix it this week, but they pushed that update back to next week. So we'll see if they push it back again.
They need to say I'm sorry to all the people that we done negatively impacted.
They did. They released
goddamn update.
they released a full statement.
Okay.
They released a full statement, and then this is also just a side note. So the Apple AirPods, right? So they had a hidden feature that allows you to leave your iPhone like in a room.
Now I did hear about that.
Your AirPods be connected, and you can basically call into your phone.
What the person is saying. Yes.
Hear what's in the room that you're not in your Apple is messy.
Just leave it in the room. Yes.
They love the mess. That's what Apple is loving right now. But so that's
the mess. Who is that? That's Messy C, ain't it?
Yes.
I might have to put him in here because you know the girls don't know Messy C. They don't know him. I have to because I had to make that make sense for them. They don't know Messy C.
He was on Instagram this week. He posted a invitation to a Super Bowl party at his house in Atlanta, Georgia. That's
Georgia. Come on, Tyler Perry, Georgia. I got
exactly how he
talk. Georgia.
No, that's how he said it in the video.
Oh, he said, so that might be, well, girl, that might be a Southern thing then, honey.
And so basically, he charging the girls $100 to come to his Super Bowl party in his house.
$100 to come down.
He said it's all you can eat, all you can drink. But he said he only accepting 10 people, but he charging $100.
10 people. So you just
girl. So he said he don't need the money. He just don't want. He don't want random bitches in his house. He only want basically people who.
So he's saying you at least need an available $100 to blow in order to get into this party. He know that's gonna cut a number of hood rats off from being able to get in. He already know. That was smart because you know them girls, they be trying to pop off on Mississippi. They be trying to punch him in things when they see him in the street and stuff.
They love to fight.
Right. We love to fight. I'm gonna have to put him saying I love the Messi in here. Let me tell you, I love me some Messi. See, he from Baton Rouge, ain't he?
Yes, he is.
I love me some Messi, honey.
I saw him one time when I was out there, but back to the tea.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you got to swing out for Messi. Ooh, you got to work it for Messi. Ooh, swing your hair for Messi. Be a diva for Messi. Dancing for Messi. Shaking for Messi. Working for Messi. Smile for Messi. Let's go for Messi. I love the man. I love the man. I love the man. I love the man.
So moving on, I did want to mention this for the millennials out there, which I think both of us we're in the millennials. So we
are, and I do want to. We have to
Go
say
ahead.
that too, because I think sometimes we talk shit about the millennials, and I just want people to know we are millennials as well.
Right.
So when we talking shit, we talking shit about ourselves. So we talking shit about the group.
Right. So between student loan debt and rising rent, the average millennial, of course, is struggling. So this is
broke as
basically
fuck. This is correct.
right. So what they're learning and what they're discovering with millennials regarding their spending habits is that social media driven spending habits are on the increase, meaning 57% of millennials have confirmed that they have seen things on Instagram, on social media and different platforms and been urged to buy it or been, felt the need to buy it. And then because of how everything is accessible with the click of a button, I can go and purchase pretty much anything and have it sent right to my house directly from my phone. They're seeing a lot more spending, impulse spending from millennials. Mm-hmm. So basically, niggas is on Instagram all day, every day. They seeing Cardi B. They seeing everybody dripping. They seeing everybody, doing this, that, and the third, and wearing all the labels, doing the clothes, doing the shoes, the houses, and they feel the need to go out and live a life that they can't afford. So if this is you out there, you need help. Please, because it's literally getting to the point where we are not like our parents, so meaning we're in our mid to late 20s. And at this age in our parents' lives, they would have been most likely married. They would have already, literally, like if you go and compare at this age, they would have been married. They would have already purchased their first or second car. They would be transitioning into a home, a house. But also what has not happened since we grew up in a post 2008 long recession, we have not seen the wage growth that would normally have helped us
to get to
obtain those things. Help us to obtain those things. So what they're expecting is that financially, we're not going to be able to afford the things that our parents could afford until we're more likely getting close to 40. But now, what is happening is. But what's happening?
I'm thinking about my life. I'm thinking about my life, girl. They not lying.
Because rent is going up, gas and food is going up, everything is going up, housing is going up, and what's not going up is our checks.
It's a fucking coin.
Right. Because the minimum wage and the average wage growth has been pretty much stagnant for years, since before the recession. Like the jobs that were paying a certain amount before the recession paying that same amount 15 years later, which has not been the case years ago. So as opposed to years ago, you would be making 10 to 15 years gap, you'll be making 10 to 15, 20, 30, 40 more $1,000 for that same position. That's not the case. You're making the same money, but everything else is still, rent is still going up.
Higher.
Everything else is higher. So you living a broker life than what your parents are doing the same thing with your parents.
And then on top of that, this is the generation of social media.
They want to flex.
This is the girls who want to flex. Come on now.
That's what I'm getting into. And so coupled with the fact that this is a flex and everybody is drip, everybody got the sauce, everybody got the juice, everybody getting money out here, but really not getting no money. So everybody feel the need to get on social media, act like they got money, buying things that they don't need, that they cannot afford, which is making them even broker.
God damn it!
So it's
they gonna see a decline in the number of babies being born too, honey.
That's already. I think they're not expecting the average expected age for millennials to have children is now expected to be between 35 and 40, as opposed to our parents had children either directly after high school or directly after college between 18 and 25,
or in high school. Let's keep it real.
but they're seeing a strong shift. They're seeing a strong shift in our. Cause I'm just thinking about me and my graduating class. None of my friends have kids. None of my I can name 10 or 12 of my closest friends that I still can keep in touch with from high school. None of them have kids. None of them are married. All of us are single. not single, but we are not married individuals.
Married, correct.
Not married, and we don't have kids. Unlike the previous generation, they probably wouldn't have been married, but they would have still had a kid. But moving forward, so I did want to mention that, and also Generation Z, which I think that's the generation that's born like 2000 to 2001 and onward. The people, they're expected to be able to combat this more easily, meaning that they were born into this technology, social media age. So they're expected to be more skeptical about flexing on the gram and doing that, versus our generation got engulfed into that, MySpace, Facebook. I gotta flex, I gotta shine, I gotta show everybody that I'm doing good. And then the fact that you keep in touch with, we're the first generation where we can literally keep in touch with I can go on Facebook and find out what any person I went to high school with is doing right now, doing this week, doing what they doing today.
Right.
That was really the first generation versus our parents' generation. You had to get to the family reunion. I mean, not the family reunion, the high school 10, 15, 20 year.
To know what the fuck people was doing.
Right. But yeah, so I did want to mention that. Yeah. What you got?
Okay, so let's talk about, I think I'll save Jussie, I guess, for last, because I know you wanted to mention Kevin Hart with that. So let's talk about B. Smith. Do you know who B. Smith is?
No, I do not.
Okay, you may have heard something about this story this week. I wasn't so sure if I was going to talk about it. I actually have been asking a lot of people I know, like from my parents to coworkers to friends. I've been asking everybody for their opinion on this situation because I'm so torn and I don't know. It's a difficult situation to kind of put yourself into the shoes of the person. So B. Smith, she's a black woman, right? She's like 69, I think now, but she started her career off as a model, and then she turned into a businesswoman and she started owning several restaurants. They were very popular. She grew a very big fan base. She then went on to become a lifestyle guru. She had a television show. She got into decor. She started selling a lot of pieces. Some of her pieces were sold in stores like Bed Bath & Beyond. She was just an all-around entrepreneur, businesswoman. She was beautiful, smart. She was just, I mean, she has a lot of fans. I didn't know of who she was, but just looking back and kind of doing a little bit of research into her life and stuff, I can see why she had so many fans. She was just an amazing woman. So unfortunately, in 2014, she ended up being diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Right?
Okay.
So this woman, in 1992, she married a man named Dan Gaspy. Right? And they had been married now at this point 27 years. So they announced together back in 2014 that she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and they wrote a book about it, about dealing with it and managing and just about what to expect. And so now it's been a good 5 years since she announced her diagnosis, and her Alzheimer's, as you know, it's a progressive disease. It's a degenerative disease, and there's no cure. So she's been steadily degressing. I think at this point, I know in the clip that I saw, because her husband is going to be on Dr. Oz this Tuesday, and he released a clip from the show, and they were talking about on there. She's sort of like in the mind state of like a 4-year-old at this point. I mean, that's just, when you think about the woman that she was, and you think about everything that she accomplished, that's this Alzheimer's. It's
not
a
a
thief.
joke.
It's not a joke. It's a thief of people's lives. It's a thief of who they were. It's a thief of the past, and it's a thief of the future. And when just looking, her story, caused me to kind of look into Alzheimer's some more and see that, African American people are more at risk for developing Alzheimer's than other groups of people, and women are at a higher risk as well. So when you think about that, that's black women who are the primary people being affected by this disease, and it's really unfortunate. So, what's going on now? Dan Gaspy and his wife B. Smith, they had created a Facebook page where they were kind of sharing her life and sharing her experiences and their experiences together with Alzheimer's. And back in December, Lord have mercy, to the surprise of all of B. Smith's fans, Dan Gaspy posted a photo of him, his wife B. Smith, and a white woman who was his girlfriend, who was about 11 years younger than him. And apparently he met her about a year ago. And whenever she travels on out there, I think they stay in the Hamptons or something like that. Whenever she travels out there, it's like a 2-hour drive for her. She has a room in their house now where she comes in and she stays. And she helps Dan take care of B. Smith. Like I said, she's sort of in the mind of a 4-year-old. So she's not, from the video I saw, she's not like aware of, she's not even aware of herself. Right. Yeah, she's not fully aware. She doesn't even recognize who she was, the woman that she was, let alone who this white woman is, and that the fact that her husband has brought this white woman into their home. And as you would imagine, the internet has been in an uproar about it. People are hurt. People are mad. They're mad to the point that Dan has been receiving death threats from people with having sort of moved on with his life. Still taking care of B. Smith, but he now has a new girlfriend, a new relationship. And he said in a Facebook message, he said, I love my wife, but I can't let her take my life.
Girl, see, this is when you tell people too much of your business. This is I don't know. What would possess him to get on Facebook and do this? I don't know.
Apparently him and his girlfriend are creating a radio show. They're getting ready to create a radio show.
Oh, so he still has goals and ambitions and stuff he want to do. I don't even know what to say about this. This is a whole hot mess. It will only even make sense if she had given him the okay to do this mess. But who's to say that she actually did? Because
from what we know right now, it doesn't look like she did.
Right.
And
from
what her fans are
saying,
saying,
nothing about it.
He didn't. He has not said that this is something that me and my wife talked about, because with the backlash that you're getting, because he's been clapping back at a lot of people online. He's been saying a lot of stuff. Like he's actually said a lot of stuff that is just sort of disgusting in my opinion. He's talked about, I guess he thinks that everybody who's giving their opinion don't understand Alzheimer's and don't have relatives and people that they know with Alzheimer's. They're like almost 6 million people in the country that are living with Alzheimer's today. So a lot of people who are talking to you actually do have an understanding of Alzheimer's, and they actually do have relatives and family members, or they are in themselves are dealing with someone who has Alzheimer's. And he's been very dismissive, and he actually at one point said, I hope that someone in your immediate family gets Alzheimer's so that you can understand what I'm going through. Like he basically wished Alzheimer's on a lot of the people that are sort of coming back at him and saying that they don't believe that this is right. Because you took a vow to take care of your wife, and B. Smith was never one of those women who gave the impression that this would be something that she would be okay with.
Right.
Y'all talked about getting through Alzheimer's together in the book because they ended up writing a book about it. Y'all talked about getting through Alzheimer's together, not with bringing a third party into the picture. It's a very complicated situation, right? And I got a lot of thoughts on it. I think first, let me say, let's take the wife out of the picture. Let's take marriage out of the picture. Let's take vows. Let's take all of that stuff out of the picture. You just met this white woman a year ago. You have been married to your wife for 27 years, and you have now allowed this, and it's not, and I'm saying white woman because that's what she is, but it's not necessarily the fact whether she's white or black. You don't know her. Your wife worked all of her life to put you and her in the position that y'all are in now, to be so financially secure that y'all don't need no more money. Y'all don't need, I looked up one article, it said that B. Smith net worth was like 19 million. She made a good coin in her life to make sure that y'all you good. You taking care, she has taken care of you. She has provided you with the lifestyle that you have. I saw y'all house. It's sickening. She has taken care of you.
Right.
And I don't think you understand that you could be getting yourself in a position to get used by this white woman that just randomly has popped up in a year time.
And showing interest in you.
Your old ass. And take your old ass, because you old too, and taking care of, now she all up in your wife's face like she know her.
Right.
Knowing that your wife don't recognize who this woman is.
Right.
She just see a smiling face and she smile back.
And don't know what's going on.
Come on. So I can understand. It feels very abusive, and what it brought up is this is actually an important conversation that people, especially in the black community, need to be having. Married people, y'all need to be having these types of conversations. Beyond having the conversations, y'all need to be doing the research and the work to find out what documents and what things you need to make sure that if something like this were to happen to you, that all of your wishes are recognized, and that, you know, from my understanding, you need to leave all this documentation needs to be left to a close family member or a friend.
Or
From what I was seeing, they were not suggesting your spouse. From what I was seeing, and I'm not saying that your spouse don't need to know, but they were saying that somebody else need to know on top of your spouse.
Somebody who has no direct benefit or gain from.
Come on, there you go. That's the point. So it's just brought up a lot. And what I will say is that the people who are threatening these people and giving them death threats and all of this, y'all are taking things way too far. Way too far. I feel like people who do death threats, write letters threatening to kill people and do all of this, all of them type of people, y'all need to be, the FBI need to be finding these folks.
Right.
Because there's something mentally wrong with you, and you don't need to be out here operating in regular life with the rest of us. Because it is something wrong with you. It's one thing to have an opinion about it. It's one thing to disagree with it. It's another to start threatening the lives of people. Because what good does that do? If you kill him, then what good does that do be? Because one thing about it is he is at least taking care of her. I've followed them on Instagram. I've been following them on Facebook. I can see that he is taking good care of her. Okay? I'm not questioning whether or not he's taking care of her. But I am questioning him as a caregiver, and I'm not really understanding in the sense of I'm not really understanding this situation, because I have a great aunt, because I think I talked about him on here before, that my grandmother, you know, she got sick and I stayed with her for a couple of years to kind of help her and watch her and all that stuff. Well, before she got down that bad, my great aunt got down, and she ended up coming down with Alzheimer's, and she ended up staying with my grandmother, and me, my grandmother, who was still okay at that time, my mother and my father, we all pitched in and helped take care of her until the end of her life. And so I've seen what Alzheimer's does to people. I've seen what Alzheimer's does to caregivers. I've seen this, and there are a lot of people who have also experienced and have been caregivers themselves. And the ideal of you just bringing it comes off as just so disrespectful. As a man, it comes off so disrespectful for you to have this white woman coming over here, stand up in this house that your wife worked hard enough to provide y'all with the money to be able to afford this, and for you to have her staying here just because I don't know what it is. Because you can get companionship without doing this.
Right.
I understand that you can't sit up there and have whole ass conversations with your wife no more. I understand that. You can get companionship in other ways than to move some woman up in your house. But go ahead.
Her house.
About to say something.
When you say in sickness and in health, that means something to me. And at the end of the day, this is. I'm not trying to say this is what you signed up for, but this is what you signed. This is what you agreed to. And if that's not what you want to do, then you shouldn't have made those commitments that you can't cash. Meanwhile, you cashing out her money, and then you about to try to leave it to some white bitch. So it's just
because that's what it looks like. Because people have been digging into their white woman past, and before she dated you, she dated another black man who also owned restaurants, and the only reason they broke up is because he ended up going to jail. He got into a fight with somebody, and he punched the man, and the man fell and hit his head on the counter, and he ended up with permanent brain damage that ended up resulting in his death. And so that black man ended up going to jail, but he was a rich restaurant owner as well. And that was the last person that white woman dated. So what it looks like is that she has a type.
Right.
She's going after a certain type of person that got a certain type of coin. And now she done came up in this house with you. And you so distraught and you so gullible right now that you done fell for the okie doke. And now her ass that is 11 years younger than you, all she got to do is wait for both of y'all asses to croak and sit up here and pretend to love you enough, because you ain't an ugly man, so it ain't gonna be as hard for her. And all she got to do is pretend to sit up here and love you enough to marry you and to get that coin.
Right. Just a mess.
So
it's just a mess.
it's a hot ass mess. And B. Smith, I'm mad because that woman didn't work all her life and make all that money for this.
Right.
She didn't do all of that for this to end up in this situation. And I felt like that Facebook message he put out there where he said, I love my wife, but I'm not gonna let her take my life. That's how you feel?
Yep.
That is so. I mean, that sounds horrible.
So that, to me, that lets me know is that that's not what she wanted. I'm not gonna let her take my life, meaning, because if that confirms it for me, because he would not have used those words if they had already had an agreement or something like that. Or this is what I want. So he knows that his wife will be unhappy with it, but at this point, he doesn't care. He doesn't. He's put that to the side, and at least he's taking care of it. That's all I can say. This is the only thing I can say about it.
The only positive about this story is that he is taking care of her, and I mean, and that's important. But y'all gotta have these discussions, folk. Y'all married people. I hope that everybody is taking heed of this story. And like I know I saw an article that was saying that this is raising a lot of questions about how to make sure that what you want to happen, if anything were to happen to you, that you putting all that information down, because the number of people in this country, I think they said like only 4 out of 10 people who are married have a living will. Like y'all gotta.
I thought it would be worse.
Go ahead.
I used to watch Susie Orman, and one of the things she always used to say is you have to have an active will and trust. And to me, trust is the best thing that you can have, meaning, especially when you are wealthy, making a lot of money. A trust is that basically have a board of directors, and they ensure that your family and your legacy and that your money continues on, not just through one person. So meaning they'll pay. They'll have to petition the trust to get housing, and they'll pay for it and all that type of stuff. But what they're not going to do is let you just get all this money and then blow it, and then you not have none left for the people that's coming after you. But that's what I would do. But
she probably never
thought.
Yes. She probably never thought that her man, because I like I say, I ain't been able to do everything I wanted to do, but I did watch enough interviews from her. I watched actually after her diagnosis. I watched interviews from after her diagnosis, like the year after. Then I would see one that was 2 years after. Then I would see one that was 3 years after, so that I could get an idea of how fast her disease is progressing. And especially looking at those ones that were shortly after she was diagnosed, the way that she was talking, I mean, she sat up there talking about her husband one time, and she just started crying, just thinking about how good of a man he is. So that told me that she never thought that this would be what she would be, that her man would be doing something like this at this point. They have not had this discussion.
They have not.
He would have, like you say, he would have already put this information out there. They have not had this discussion. So, I don't know. I just think it's nasty, because it's just like, she's not going to take my life. But as long as she was adding to your life, that was fine.
Yeah.
As long as she made sure you was able to get the car you want, that was fine. But now she can't take from my life. She left you sitting on a pile of money. And you got okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
You getting
upset?
upset?
Pissed me off. No, it did. This black woman done worked all this time, and she done provided you with a lifestyle beyond anything you would have ever imagined. And now you talking about she can't take from my life because you don't got nobody to screw. Okay.
I think I'm out of reckless, by the way. I'm sorry.
Oh, you are? Okay, good. Let me know, girl. Let's move on. We gonna be coming to a close here shortly. But we need to talk about Jesse for a moment. I'm sure you guys have all heard he was physically assaulted out in Chicago. He was called homophobic and racial slurs. He said that it was two guys came up on him and attacked him. He was called, like I said, homophobic and racial slurs. They put a rope around his neck, and an unknown chemical substance, which is now believed to be bleach, was poured onto him. And I want to say a few days before this incident went down, there was a letter containing white powder, which is now, according to Entertainment Tonight, they're saying that the white powder was crushed up aspirin. That was delivered to the set of Empire with cutout letters, not written. None of the wording was written. It was all cut out, and it was directed at Jussie Smollett and said that we're going to, kill you, basically. And there was some homophobic slurs in the letter as well. So it's a lot going on with this right now. Jussie has maybe, I don't know, maybe we should record it tomorrow, because from my understanding, he has a concert tonight. And I think that he's still performing, and he's supposed to be addressing this situation a lot more. Initially, that there was an outpouring of love, especially from celebrities. I saw an outpouring of love. Of course, black women were first. They always are. They were first, right. The first ones on the scene. But then I did start to see a lot of black men coming out. I'm not going to say that black men weren't coming out in droves. I know that Lee Daniels put out a post out there about where are the black men. I sort of felt like that was unnecessary at that point. I felt like Lee Daniels was unnecessary, period, actually.
Right. He was doing the most.
In this whole situation, from putting out the little FaceTime image of Jussie when he was on the phone with him, which I'm sure he probably got Jussie's Jussie's approval.
Sure.
I would hope that he got his approval to put that out there.
100%.
I'm not 100% either, but I felt it was unnecessary because it's obvious that Jussie took a while to come back to social media, and I feel like he should have been the first one allowed to speak. And even if he want to show an image, he should be the first one allowed to do all of that stuff he want to do. Let him do that. Lee on here talking about Jussie, you are my son. No, he is not Lee.
No, he has a whole.
No,
parents.
He is not Lee. He got a whole family, a good one. Okay, he got a whole family, and he don't need your ass talking about Jussie, you are my son. Lee, gone over there to Empire. Finish shooting and editing and stuff. No, we didn't need none of that. All this divisiveness, because you got black men up in here mad at the fact that you done said this shit about black men wasn't saying nothing.
Did you ever pay Dame Dash his money? That's what I want to know. Did you,
know
ever
what?
pay Dame Dash his money?
I heard that he did. I heard he did. I don't know for sure. I heard he did, but that's Lee. Okay, Lee.
Worry about that.
Okay, worry about all that. So, but they had, like I say, initially people were sending a lot of love, but then people started kind of questioning the validity of what was being reported on Jussie. And catch what I'm saying. What was being reported. Because there's a difference between what Jussie said and what the police said and what was being reported. Because a lot of people started questioning him and they saying he lying, but y'all saying he lying based on TMZ. Right.
But you didn't actually go and find out what was actually reported.
What Jussie said. What was in the police report. You didn't go look that up to see what was it that he said, because Jussie said he finally did come forward and put out a little statement. He has been consistent from the beginning. Okay. Let's sort of get into a few of these inaccuracies that were kind of put out there. I know that there was one that was saying that the men had on MAGA hats. That was nothing Jussie ever said.
Right.
That was a reporting from TMZ that mentioned MAGA hats. What Jussie told the police is that they yelled out, "This is a MAGA country." That was what he told the police. So that was one. So that's just one thing that people, well, I thought it was MAGA. Baby, but did you do your research?
They didn't.
Okay. So another one was it was footage of Jussie because he drove himself to the hospital, and then I believe he drove back to his residency, and that is where the police actually ended up meeting him to discuss what had happened. And when there was video, I guess surveillance of him going into his building, and he still had on the rope that the people that attacked him used. And I guess people were feeling like, oh, he had on the rope. Like I guess that to them that meant, oh, you did this yourself. I don't know how they got to that.
To me, what that means is I'm not about to tamper with this evidence. Just let them let them see and figure something out. That's what it means to me. But.
And that is what Jussie said, that he was trying to preserve the evidence.
Because just me taking and moving it and sitting it down, it could mess up any type of DNA.
Come on. So let's be smart. Let's be smart.
Y'all ain't seen CSI? What? Simple.
Another inaccuracy I saw was that a lot of people they had reported that, oh, Jussie don't want to turn over his phone. He don't want to turn over his phone to the police, so that means he got something he hiding. Girl, yeah, he might be hiding some nudes or some men in the industry nudes or some stuff that we don't need to see. No, he did not. some other phone calls with people that we don't need to know gay yet, that he trying to hide their identity. He might have turned over some of that stuff. He might didn't want that stuff to get out there. But what he did say was that he was getting his phone records because the police were just trying to validate, because he was on the phone with his manager. And his manager heard the men say this is a MAGA country. So they wanted to validate that you were on the phone with your manager. So he said, yes, I would give my phone records over to the police. But I'm not comfortable right now with handing over my phone. That was understandable. And shout out to the Breakfast Club for saying they got that. They understood that. Like, of course, like you just had this situation happen to you. You want your phone on you to be able to contact or do whatever you need to do. That's understandable.
When I heard that, I was like, that don't even make sense. The police don't need your phone to find out if you was on the phone with someone. I can call AT&T. I can even call AT&T. I can go on their app and find out every call that was made on their network.
Come
period.
Every text message. Come on now. The other little piece of this was that, of course, Chicago. There's been we had what they call it, a polar vortex, I think they call it, that we had that came through the Midwest and we've been getting record low temperatures, and apparently Chicago was like negative 29 or something. Chicago was apparently negative 29 or something like that at that point. And so people were saying, oh, this polar vortex, how are you going out here to Subway, to get something to eat when you in this, who goes out here, you must have been going out here to get some dick, or you must have been going out to get some drugs, or you must have been going out to do.
It don't matter what he was going out to do.
It doesn't matter. I'm trying to understand, for one, whether he was going out for Subway or to get dick. What does that mean? He was supposed to.
He could have been coming from the dick to the Subway. You don't even know. It doesn't matter.
It does
not matter.
It don't matter. But I'm trying to understand. Y'all are bringing that up like that's supposed to mean you supposed to get attacked because you was going out for dick instead of Subway. You was going out for a different type of foot long.
I'm not about to do this with you.
How does that affect the fact that he got attacked? I don't get that part. And then the other piece is, I'm messy for that. The other piece was the people were saying, oh, the bleach with a freeze. Let me just get to what I'm trying to say. Let's wait for Jussie to say what he. I like Jussie, and I have followed Jussie's career, and I've followed the type of person he is. People out here online, everybody from Kevin, Problematic Heart, all the way over to all of the beautiful black women that have been coming out in support, the men, Lance Gross and all of them. People are not coming out in droves. These celebrities are not coming out in droves to talk about how fucked up this situation is just because it's fucked up. They coming out to talk about it because of the type of person Jussie is. They coming out to talk about it because the one thing that I've been seeing most of the people say is that, Jussie, you are a light. Why do y'all think people saying that? Because they know him. A lot of the people that are out here questioning the validity of his claims, y'all don't know him. That boy is, people don't even care he gay. That's how loved he is in this community. That's how loved he is in Hollywood. Men that you wouldn't even think would be. Kevin Hart literally just got up here and said all this shit about not wanting to understand what the fuck going on with the quote, the jokes and the shit he made, the homophobic jokes and stuff. He didn't even want to understand that shit. But because of the type of person that Jussie is, even his ass made a damn tweet.
Right.
Because that's just the type of person that Jussie is. So I'm not understanding why y'all are so quick to want to say that this man is lying when most of the information that you are regurgitating has came from all these different articles like TMZ and stuff that were not on the scene.
Right.
How about y'all wait till he actually speak and actually say it from his mouth to then question his validity? We got to get past that. This same type of, like you said, this same type of shit happens when these women come out here and say what happened to them. That's the first thing people do. We talked about the Chris Brown thing. Y'all instantly want to say everybody lying when you wasn't there. It's okay to wait to form an opinion. It's okay.
This is a whole hot mess. I was shocked. I was like, this is 2019 and this is really where we are. This is what we're doing. This is our country, and But then I had to think about it. I was like, you know what? I'm not even shocked. I have no reason to be shocked about this because this is expected with this type of behavior. I mean, when you have a president who's spewing bigotry every day, and I'm not even about to go down all that road, but what I do want to do is say this is why it's important, Kevin Hart, not to joke about beating your son if he was gay. And
Come on now.
the other city girl talking about she would beat her son if he was gay. This is why it's important, because you may think it's all jokes and games and funny, but people actually believe this in their heart. And I've said this before.
And you reaffirm their beliefs when you do shit like that.
And you're perpetuating it. You're putting that out there, and you are. Okay, yeah, I'm not even about to give this much energy.
I get everything you're saying. It's the same. This is the point. I understand they say that this is a MAGA country. Nobody is blaming Kevin Hart. Let me say it because I saw a bunch of motherfuckers who act silly because people were talking about Kevin Hart and all of this, and they were bringing it up, and I saw a lot of people come in. Whoa, you act like this Kevin Hart fault. They said that this is a MAGA country. That means that it was Trump. I understand that they said it is a MAGA country. Nobody is blaming Kevin Hart. But all of these things work together is what we're saying. We're saying that this is why that was such. This is one of the reasons why we were saying that is such a big deal for us as a community to not make it okay to say things like that and to do things. We have to be a united front. It shouldn't take for Jussie to get hit and punched and all of this for people to then understand. Oh wait, we gotta support LGBT because it's like it's been so much support for the community this week. And it's great to see that y'all love Jussie. But, baby, like Jussie said in his little statement that he released, this been happening to my LGBTQ brothers and sisters for years. This ain't new. This ain't new. They've been getting killed for who they are. Whether they setting up an appointment for sex or setting up an appointment for Subway, bitch. It don't matter. It's been fucking happening for years.
Right.
It didn't start with Jussie. It won't end with him.
Y'all worried about the wrong things.
Come on. I mean, this week I was shocked because I'm like, I see all of these even gay people, even some gay people, Milan Christopher, who were out here trying to say that Jussie is lying. It was even. I mean, you one of the biggest clowns we know in reality TV right now. Who's even caring about your opinion? Every time you turn around, you trying to pull your dick out for attention. Who even give a fuck about what you saying? I mean, I was like, damn, who? The porn star? Bust it down. I mean, even Trump this week had some. He said that this was horrible, talking about Jussie.
And then tried to tie it into building the border wall. So I'm not gonna get him.
Well, we ain't gonna go down. Hold up. We know he ignorant. We know he ignorant. I'm not trying to make him look good. I'm not trying to make him look good. But my point is, even when the president initially said something, when he was asked about Jussie, he said that this is horrible. He said it's the worst offense. He even had something positive to say.
Something that made some sense.
Something that made some sort of sense. So it's like y'all be quiet. If all these celebrities who know this man felt like his character was of a person that would just come out here and just be telling all these lies, they wouldn't be putting these messages out here. Stop it.
I'm just not gonna waste my energy on somebody who's not gonna waste their energy on even trying to make sense of their actions. So Kevin Hart, he has proven and he's accepted his clownery, his tomfoolery, and I've accepted it too. And so he's high on my list of cancellations. I'm just waiting on a few more offenses, which I'm sure will come in time because it is Kevin Hart we're dealing with. So.
Oh yeah, he'll say something that the majority of the black, the part of what we need is the part of the black community that is not against the LGBT community. That's the part he got to offend again because, like you say, he has done it before. He'll do it again. He'll get them again. And then when we get them on board, it's gonna take for us to get them to get him out of here. So we'll get them again, and then we'll be able to revisit this and say, oh, so this week y'all got a problem with him. Okay. But when we had a problem, sensitive. Okay.
But is that it? Are we done?
That is. Let me say one more thing though, real quick. Monique, you girl, you are so passive aggressive. You are
On the
so
real.
passive aggressive. On the real, you are so passive aggressive, and I saw some bloggers and YouTubers and things out here commending you. They were saying that you handled that situation like a grown woman, because if y'all remember, Adrian Bailon was one of the people who were out here speaking against what Monique had to say. And while I agree with her on speaking against the things that Monique said about Lee Daniels and Oprah and Tyler Perry, I didn't agree with the way that she defended her statement, her stance. I didn't. She was talking about, why does keeping it real have to be loud? And I feel like whenever you start talking about loud and volume and all that shit,
she don't fully get it. She knew it was wrong, but she didn't know why it was wrong. See, she needs somebody
Exactly.
like me
Exactly.
and you to get up here, and we're not gonna let I'm gonna cut right through the bullshit, because I saw a clip. I thought just a 60-second clip. I said, this. She's saying a whole lot of nothing, but it making it sound like it's really something. But she ain't said shit. And at the end of the day, we need somebody who's gonna get up there and not be intimidated by Monique and go toe to toe with her, and not sit up here and make her actually answer these questions. Make her actually stand behind the tomfoolery that she's trying to pitch as being for us, when it's really for Monique. And I have no problem. I love Monique. She has a Vegas residency. She's doing good with her weight loss. I support her. I would even go see her if I went to Vegas. But I'm not going to sit up here and act like everything that you're doing is hunky-dory, and then you sitting up here intimidating all these people and making them feel like their opinion against you was wrong. And then you always trying to tie it back into my sister coming back and supporting women and this whole bigger movement, when it really is just about you and what you did not do and what you did not want to do. And I'm not gonna sit up here and let you pull the wool over my eyes. But
come on now. She was talking about, it's not, she was like, I don't have a beef against Oprah and Tyler Perry and Lee. It's just us having an honest conversation. You telling people to suck your dick, that's not having an honest conversation. That's not how you have a grown conversation. Okay? And then you sitting up here with Adrian. You sitting up here with fucking Adrian talking about Adrian doesn't understand. She's the baby. Like, you sitting right up here speaking to this woman, referring to a 35-year-old woman. A 35-year-old woman as a baby. You are passive aggressive. And you think it's cute, but it's not, and we see through that shit. And I'm with you. I support Monique. They are, well, you know what? I'm be honest with you. I heard, now I don't know how true, we gonna see. I heard that her and Steve Harvey got into it, and that she ended up telling him, she went to his show and ended up telling him that she'll slap him. That's what I heard. I don't know what the full deeds, because the episode, we don't know if the episode gonna air, but from what I heard, Steve told her that you need to apologize for them people for telling them that. And that she didn't want to hear none of that shit, and they ended up getting into it. I don't know how true. Like I say, this is just a rumor at this point. So we'll see how that roll out. But yeah, when it comes to people like Charlamagne, people who are more so willing to hold you to it, you don't really operate well in those types of conditions, in those situations. You don't really operate well. You want to be able to tell people they wrong, because you sat up there and told Adrian, oh, you a baby, so you don't understand. You want to be able to tell everybody that they don't get it and they wrong, but you can't accept what nobody else got to say about your ass. And that's that Wendy Williams spirit. I don't do that. I don't do that. You sitting up here telling this 35-year-old woman, she's the baby. She don't understand, me as a grown woman. She doesn't understand, how I feel. She can't tell me how I feel. Girl. And you said, I'm having just an honest conversation. No more.
Monique, and another thing is, I feel I can see the fake energy that's coming out. Like I can. The passive aggressive is what she really wants to say is hidden underneath that, and that I feel like she has yet to be pulled out. Like, I want to cut through all of that, because you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody needs to go toe to toe with her, cut through all of that, the bullshit passive aggressiveness, and I feel like they'll find out what's really going on with Monique. What really get her out of character. What it's going to remind me of is that episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta when Nene and Claudia was at that dinner table, and Claudia had already rehearsed, had already planned out all her reads, and called Nene way left field, and then Nene had to go real gutter. She had to bring back season 1 Nene, and we hadn't seen that Nene in a long time, because Nene got money now. So that's really what it's reminding me of. I just feel like somebody needs to already have their thoughts together, already understand their opinion, be fully and full and confident in their opinion, and not allow not allow Monique to get up here and bully you. Because everybody she's had an issue with, they are able to clearly articulate why they have an issue when she's not there. And then she gets up there with this nice nastiness that she does, and then make you feel like, oh, wait, am I wrong? No. She needs somebody who knows the foolishness, understands it, and is willing to talk about it and cut through all of this. And she is yet to face somebody like that. But she gonna get it one day. Because she's still doing a press tour. She's still doing plenty of press tours related to Netflix and
this Las Vegas
Daniels
residency.
Right. So she's still talking about it, still looming over her career. So somebody gonna get her one day. And I'll be glad to see it.
I will be glad to see it too. We're gonna see. I hope that Steve Harvey airs whatever happened there, because something went down. For all them reports to come out, something went down.
Yeah, but we'll probably never see the light of day. Or
no, it probably won't.
But we'll see. But I guess that's it now.
That is it, girls. I'm so glad. Thank you guys for tuning in. I saw all of the, especially a lot of Insta stories. We had a lot of Insta stories this week. You guys were posting on there that we're listening to the episode. I was trying to make sure that I repost all of you guys and give you love. And we appreciate that so much. Thank you guys so much for listening. So I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, so we definitely appreciate you guys listening, and we'll see you guys when we see you.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
Bye.
Bitch, I'm from Louisiana, you know we